Hey there, everybody. I'm going to give it a couple minutes for everybody to hop on, whoever can get on live if there's any of you. I am going to talk to you about Instagram today. So we've talked a little bit about this, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, and there's going to be kind of several more smaller trainings that I'm going to do with you on this because I've been learning so much about Instagram and how to be successful over there. And I want to make sure to get all of these resources and tools into your guys' hands as well. So I am on puppy duty, kid duty, all of that for the time being. So until my husband gets home, I'm going to try to do this without distractions. We're just going to do my best. So I'm going to give it a couple more minutes here. You guys check out this massive cold sore on my face. I did not really want to do a live video, if I'm being completely honest. When this happens, which isn't that often, but a couple times a year, when that happens, I kind of just want to hide away from the world and not let anybody see me. But, I'm doing things like reading books like Daring Greatly, talking about getting vulnerable and just being you, showing up as you, no matter what that looks like. And so here I am. All right. You guys want to see my cute little puppy? Look at him. Hi, Cooper. Cooper. Hey. Hi. I think he's so cute. All right. Whenever you hop on, go ahead and say hello to me so that I know who's on here with me live. So I'm going to be kind of trying something a little bit different than I haven't done before as far as sharing information with you guys. Because I do have some examples that I want to show you. And so I am on the live video here on my phone. See, there I am 2 times. And I am going to be sharing in the comments here some examples, some Instagram examples that I want to show you. And if you are catching this at a later time over on YouTube, then I'm going to just spell out or tell you the name of the Instagram accounts that we're looking at so you can hop over there and see what I'm talking about, so you can see what I'm saying. Hi, Beth. Thanks for hopping on here. Okay, so let's just go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so the first, here's the other thing before I forget. If you guys have questions as I'm going through this material, I'm going to be kind of hopping back and forth between sharing examples with you and getting, looking at my notes here so that I make sure I don't miss anything. So if you guys have questions, comment them in the comment section, and I will be sure to read through these as I go through and make sure that I don't miss anything. And I'll come back to it if I don't hit on it right away. Okay? So bear with me. Hang on 1 second. I gotta let my puppy inside. Okay, so if you missed the beginning intro of this, I am on puppy duty and kid duty right now until my husband gets back home. So we have 2 dogs and they have to be separated at all times right now because one of them is teeny tiny and gets knocked over and they just don't play well enough together yet. All right, so let's just dive right in. So when we talked on this last training, I just kind of want to recap for you what we talked about so that you kind of get caught up on where we are now. If you missed that first Instagram training, it's okay. You can always go back and watch any of these at any time. We're recording them, making sure that all of this information is here to stay for you guys. The other thing to keep in mind is that Instagram, just like any social platform, constantly changing. So there may be information in here, if you're watching this video at a later date, information in here that's changed since the time that I shared this information. And so just this is giving you an idea of, the system, the idea of just the overall system of working Instagram as a whole, okay? So last time we talked about the basics of navigating Instagram, where to find everything, all of that good stuff. We also talked about how and where we can show up organically on the site, because there's lots of ways that, without doing any sort of paid advertising, lots of different places that our profiles will show up organically just for being active on Instagram. We talked about the importance of having a public profile and making sure that our Instagrams are not private where people can't see what's happening on our page. We need to make sure that everybody has access to what we are sharing. We talked a little bit about how to narrow in on who it is that we want to talk to, who's our audience, creating those lists of, ideally 1 or 2 different people and having a solid list of who those people are and what sorts of messages we want to send to those people so that when we are typing up our Instagram content, we are speaking directly to that one individual. Because if we get super specific on who our audience is, that message is delivered much more successfully and converts much more than should we be kind of talking to the masses. And then we talked a little bit about creating our brand story, and that's going to be a topic in a lot more trainings here to come as I continue to share with you guys about Instagram. Okay, so here's the deal. That's kind of just a recap of what we learned before. We're going to be talking about basically one idea, but a couple, there's lots of details within it. But today we're going to be talking about the bio part of your Instagram account, how to create one successfully, because Instagram, the goal of Instagram, obviously, as any social platform, but specifically Instagram as we're talking about it, is to connect with people and then convert them over to paid customers. So the first step that you have to take is to compel them to come over and connect with you, to come over to your page, follow what you're doing. You have to have a profile that hooks them right away so that they follow you, so that they keep following you, and so that eventually they're going to want to become a paid customer of yours. So today we're going to look at your bio on your page and how we can reconstruct that to be more compelling to people who pop over to your page. So I want you to think of it this way. Your bio section is essentially like a 7-second pitch to somebody. When they come over, that is the very beginning of your marketing funnel. That's the very, very first thing they are going to look at to see whether or not they have a connection with you, whether or not you have something to offer them. So, this is the part where we want to hook them in so that then we can obviously deliver them much more goodness along the way over time, right? But we have to have that really good hook at the beginning. So this is where you're going to tell them who, what, and why you do what you do, right? Who are you? Why would they want to follow your page? There are so many people on Instagram. We need to set ourselves apart and show people why it's important that they stay connected with us, okay? So before we get into the nitty-gritty on what to put in that Instagram section, in that bio section, I want to mention to you guys that everybody has 2 names on Instagram, and you might not know this yet. You may have noticed this when you set up your profile, or you may not have noticed it. You guys all have a username and you have a profile name. So both of these are going to come up in in the search results as people search for names or hashtags or whatever it is. These are gonna come up in those search results. So you want to make sure that your name is different on each of your username and your profile name. So if you are looking at your Instagram account, let me just go into mine here so I can show you what I'm talking about. All right. So at the very top of the page is where you're going to see your username. Okay. My username is Alina R Fitness. So this is what you'll see at the top of my Instagram account. And then if you see your actual name above where it says public figure, or if you have a public page, it might say coach, public figure. Right above that is where your profile name is going to be. So you want to make sure that these are different. So my profile name says Alina Royaker, Self-Love Guru. And then my usernames is Alina R Fitness. So you want to make sure those are different so that you can pop up in 2 different ways in the search results for that, okay? And you can do this with either there's lots of different ways that people do this. You can do this with your actual name. So if you want to be, if I want to be searched as Alina Royaker, I can do that. If I want to be searched as Self Love Dynasty, I can do that. Whatever it is that you want, people will use their company name, their personal name. You can use your team name, your personal name. However people are going to connect with you most, that's what you want to use. But you have two options there. So make sure that you're using those in a way that's going to serve you best, okay? And if you don't know whether or not you want to use your team name or your personal name, you can look through and find, 5 or 10 examples of people who use each of those, people who use their company name, people who use their personal name, and see which profiles resonate most with you. And then you can kind of decide which direction you want to go with from there. Do you feel like people are going to connect with you most on a personal, as your name, as your personal brand, or are they going to connect with you more seeing you as a company? Totally up to you. I'm using at this time, I'm using my personal name. And then I do have Self Love Guru attached to that. So with your, you can also do, in talking about, doing a company or team name, that sort of thing, you can also do the industry that you're in. So you can have it say fitness coach. I've also seen people add their location here because that is also searchable. So you can do that there as well. If you wanted to do Alina Royaker, or, that obviously wouldn't fit, but I could do Alina/Minneapolis, something like that. So you get 30 characters for your profile name, and you want to make sure you are using all of them. Because you can really maximize, like if you have a really long name like I do, you might want to shorten that a little bit. You might want to fit as much information into that little section as you can to give people the most information about you possible. And that's going to be, like I said, able to pop up in those search results. Now, the other thing that's really cool is that emojis are searchable. So that's kind of, I think, a newer thing that Instagram's doing, but it's kind of fun because if you have an emoji that really speaks to your brand, then this might be something that you want to use. For example, you could have, I could have my name right there, or I could have Self Love Dynasty with a, the muscle. You could, if you're somebody who loves coffee or lipstick, you could add those in. And when people search for those, that also pops up in the search results. So you can add those into your profile name as well. Now, any word that you focus on in your business right now might be something that people search for when they're looking for somebody like you. Think about those sorts of things if you're, trying to get creative with what to put in with those 30 characters. How do you want to define yourself? And just think of those searchable words around what it is that you have to offer. Okay, now on a different topic here, another important thing that I want you guys to do is to snag the usernames that are related to who you are on Instagram. So for example, okay, there's multiple reasons you want to do this, but the main thing is that you want to have the biggest reach, obviously, on Instagram. So for example, I have snagged the profile names for several different platform or different spaces on Instagram. So I own Alina Royaker straight through. I own Alina.Royaker. I own Alina R Fitness. I own Self Love Dynasty. Andrea and I do. We claimed that name. So if you have a spelling of your name that's kind of funny, like if you think someone's going to search out Allison with 1 L and yours is 2 L's, you might want to snag, your name with both options. It doesn't mean you have to operate profiles on all of those, all of those names. We're going to talk about that in a second, but you want to snag those. And especially if you have a team name, you want to be able to have that as an option to run that page at any time, or at least to redirect people from that page at any time, rather than running the risk of having somebody else snag up the name. So for example, Andrea and I picked up Self Love Dynasty as a profile on Instagram so that nobody, even though we're not doing anything on that page at this moment, as we think about the growth and where we want to go with our team, we want to make sure we have that option and that nobody else takes that name. And then when we're promoting Self Love Dynasty, we don't want somebody else to own that title on Instagram and be able to, take away from what we could offer on that page in the future. So snag up those names. It's easy to do. Just recreate, create as many of those as you want to. And then what's cool is you can link them all together. So at the top of I wonder if you can see this. No, too much shine. Okay, anyway, right at the top where it says your username, where mine says Alina R Fitness, I can click on it. It's got a little arrow next to it. I'm going to click on that and it's going to show you all the rest of my profile or usernames that I own or that I control. Okay, and you can click between them as you wish to. So here's what you're going to do with those if you're not running those accounts, because obviously it would be insane to try to run like 5 different Instagram accounts. That would never make sense to do that. Here is what does make sense and what I've done. You guys can go over to, you know what, I actually have, let me pop onto our page here and I'm going to show you these examples of what this looks like for me as I have snagged up these other ones. Okay, so I'm going to share in the comments here. Oh, you know what? Darn it. I thought I could post pictures in there. I guess I can't share those here. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to go over to search in your Instagram account and go to Alina Royaker, ALEENAROOYAKKER, my full name all the way through, no spaces, no dots, or you could do alina.royaker. That's going to show you the exact same thing. But when you click over there, it says, it's basically a recap of what my profile says over on the profile that I use. I use Alina R Fitness. I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. I use Alina R Fitness. So I've crafted my bio just like I'm going to teach you guys how to do. And so this one says about the same thing, but it sends you over to the page that I actually use. So it says, Jesus loving gals seeking to get fit and fall in love with body and life. Glad you're here. Join the Self-Love Dynasty movement happening over at, and it links you to the account that I actually use. Now, these profiles I have set to private. So, I mean, when I started out, this is another thing I'm going to talk to you about, but when I started out, I operated on Alina Royaker. This was like before I owned my coaching business. What I had posted there had nothing to do with my business. So I didn't want to, I also wasn't wanting, I was wanting to use a consistent name across all platforms so that people knew how to find me. And so Alina R Fitness was the one that I was using on Facebook, which is why I decided to take that name and start running a page over at Alina R Fitness on Instagram so that people would connect the two accounts, right? Know how to find me in a more simple way. But I took this profile that I had 315 followers. I didn't want to delete the profile, so I just kept it and I've made it private. And now I send everybody else over to the page that I'm actually using now. And the same thing will show you when you click on Self-Love Dynasty. We're not using that one, but I recapped what I said before. Jesus loving gals seeking to get fit and fall in love with body and life. Welcome. Join the Self-Love Dynasty party at, and I connected Andrea and my personal pages there. So you can do something like that with your team. You know, if you claim your team name on Instagram, you can have it send over to your personal page so that you are still getting that traffic. If people are searching for you by your team name, looking for you that way, they'll still be able to find you. Another really important thing to note is that you want to keep your pictures the exact same on every profile so that they realize that it's the same person and they aren't getting lost in, oh, actually, that's not who I thought it was. You want it to be consistent. So this would even make sense to do across all platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, multiple Instagram accounts. You'll see if you click over to Alina R Fitness, Alina Royaker, Alina.Royaker, it's all my exact same profile picture there. So you'll be able to connect that is me on every platform. I'm running all of those pages. All right, let me just see if I missed anything here on that. Yeah, so if you have like a brand or a name that is hard to spell, you'll want to grab like what you would think the most common misspellings of that would be and send them over to the actual page in case anybody types it in wrong. Keep your other pages private and the bio similar to the page that you're actually using, and make sure that it says something like come join the party at, and send them over to wherever it is that you want them to go. And then I mentioned to you already, but your name should be the same across every platform that you use. So I only operate at this time on Facebook and Instagram. So I'm Alina R Fitness on my Facebook page, and I'm Alina R Fitness on Instagram. Now, my personal page is Alina Royaker on Facebook, so I also claimed the Alina Royaker and Alina.Royaker on Instagram to send people over to the profile that I'm actually using. If you have an old profile, and I mentioned to you that I did, but if you have an old profile that has pictures or, nothing really to do with coaching or not really promoting the brand that you want to promote as a coach, you do not need to delete that account. If that's the profile name or the username, that you want to use for this account, don't worry. You do not need to go back through and delete all those pictures to continue just starting to post whatever it is that you want to share, building your coaching business on your page. You don't have to worry about building, in some ways, I think it's actually good for people to see where we start and how we build, because they see that you don't have to be perfect, and everything that we do is a growth process. We're learning this as we go. We were not perfect. We were not fitness experts in the beginning, but they'll be able to see our progress. And I think there's a lot to be said about that. Now, if the username that you're currently using for your personal Instagram, if you haven't really started diving into a business Instagram, or even if you have, if that's not the username you want to use, simply make the current profile you have a private page, send them over to the new page that you want to use, and you can start creating, a following over there. Okay. Let's see. The other way to do this is if you feel like people are going to search out your personal name more, but you actually want to operate on your team name page or vice versa. What you can do is when people type in your name, they can come to your profile. You can have it set for private, and in your bio, you can have it say something like private account, besties only, find me at, and link them to the page that you want them to go to. So a great example of how to send people somewhere else, but keeping your, so here's, I wanted to show you the picture of this, but I'm just going to have to spell it out for you guys so you can go and look this up because it's pretty cool. So a really great example of how you can send someone somewhere else, but keeping your stake, on Instagram planted there so that people can find you and at least reconnect with you elsewhere. Even if you aren't using Instagram as your main platform right now, maybe you feel super comfortable over on Facebook. Want to encourage you guys. I feel more comfortable on Facebook too, but I'm diving into Instagram because this is really where it's at. I think this is where the most growth is at for business opportunity. But if you do want to send them elsewhere, if you're super strong on a blog page that you want to send them to, if you want to operate from Facebook, you can send them to a different page, but just having a page created just to collect the people that do find you on Instagram. A really great example of this is C. Alexander Events. It's CALEXANDEREVENTS. And they don't do anything on their Instagram account. So this would be another thing you could do, example of something you could do on those pages that you're claiming, but you're not actually using. They have a really cool way that they've laid out. Their page is not private, so you go there, you can see their pictures. But when you go, it's very captivating. It's a very beautiful image that they've created with their 9-page spread. I think if you scroll down, it even has like 12 squares that they've used, but it all creates one image, and it's really, really awesome. So that would be another thing that you could look at doing if you wanted to do something like that on the pages that you're not occupying, or if you're not actively running those accounts, you could do something like that. Now, here's a question that sometimes comes up too, is for your profile picture, do you use your logo or do you use a personal picture? And this can go either way. I've looked at a lot of examples on this. I have always kind of, first of all, on Instagram, I've always used my personal picture. However, I've thought about the idea of doing a brand and deciding between, okay, do I want to brand myself as more of like the team name, the company name? Do I want to brand myself more as like an individual who's working a business? And these are totally up to you. These are things you have to decide how you want to best move forward. Keep in mind that those little circles, as you're searching on your phone, people are using Instagram right here on their phone. So if you are searching something on here, you type something in, you click on people, let's just see. Okay. Their pictures are teeny tiny. And I know you can't see this very well, but it's very, very small. So you need to have something that captivates. You can't have a picture that's super distant that people have a hard time even seeing who you are. If you are using your face, it needs to be a photo that is very visible of your face, something that's captivating. Now, there are some brand, like some logo ones that catch your eye too. So if you have a super eye-catching logo, you can think about using that too. It's however you want to brand yourself, but just take a look at different examples. Type in different things that have to do with what it is that you're promoting in your business, and take a look at the other people who are, you know, competing in the space, in that same space, and see what captivates you. Is it somebody's face most often, or is it a logo? So for me, I've decided to stick with the personal brand of me. So I have my face on all of my Instagram accounts and my Facebook account. But again, that's just another personal preference, and either way will work. Just make sure that it is visible and catching to the eye so that people actually want to click over to your page and check you out. Let's see here. Yes, and the other reason that you want to have that same picture on, you know, if you have business cards, you'll want that same picture on a business card, Instagram, Facebook. I don't even know if you have a profile picture on Snapchat. I'm assuming you do. I'm not on that platform. But whatever platform that you're on, have it be the same so that people start to see that consistency in your branding across all the different platforms that you use, okay? So now I want to get into the nitty-gritty of this description, this bio that we're talking about. So in this bio, you guys have 150 characters that you can use and one URL, okay? So in the bio, okay, we're going to get into a lot of stuff here, and this is super important. So I really, really want you guys either taking notes on this, or you're probably going to have to go back and re-listen to this a couple times. Make sure that you are really hitting these points on your bio, because it really does make a difference. I've been implementing these things that I've been learning, and they really, truly work. They do. So I want you guys taking good notes on this stuff. All right. So here, okay, so you get 150 characters and one URL to send them to another destination. We're going to talk about that in a second. You don't want to waste these characters on just stuff about you. People are coming to your page because they want to know how you can help them. Why should they follow you? Here's the thing, you guys. Unless we are like some super big celebrity, people do not care about every little detail of our life. They just don't. They're not coming to our page to check out how cute our kids are, how cute our puppies are. They really are coming to our page because they want to get something out of it. So our job in the description, in the bio, is not to tell them all about us. It's to tell them how we, what's in it for them, basically. So we need to be really strategic with these words, because we only have 150 characters and those are used up very, very quickly. So less about you, more about them. So here is an example that I created that doesn't belong to anybody. I just kind of threw this out here as kind of your typical bio that you'll see across the board from people who don't have strategy behind their Instagram accounts. They're just trying to put together a bio. I thought I took a snapshot of I did, but I think I deleted it. I can't find it. I took a snapshot for you guys initially of what my bio looked like before I started working on this stuff. And it basically was just like this. There was nothing out there, what's in it for them. It was all about who I am. It was all about me. And so that's what you see a lot of times. So for example, somebody's profile might say, girl boss, Jesus lover, 2-time elite 5-star, coffee junkie, fitness freak, right? It lists a few things about who I am. That is not going to pull somebody over to your page to want to follow you. It's just not. They don't see how you can serve them in any way. So unless they're already a super good friend or, family, they're not going to come over and want to follow your page out of all the other profiles that are on Instagram. So we can't lead with us. We have to lead with them and tell them what they're going to get if they follow us. And then if there's extra room at the end of adding in that stuff, we can throw in a few fun facts about who we are, but only if there's extra room. And there's not a lot of room with 150 characters. So we really want to focus on what's in it for them first and foremost. So to kind of revamp that example I just gave you, the bad example would be girl boss, Jesus lover, 2-time 5-star elite, coffee junkie, fitness freak. Okay. To rewrite that in a way that offers something to somebody else might sound like this. Tired mamas seeking easy family recipes and fit tips, welcome. Seattle Jesus and coffee, please. Cool mom's recipe ebook here. and then you give them an ebook, something free, something of value. So there's also, you're going to want to add in how they can connect with you. So whether that is whatever you're offering in your URL or a location or an email, you can add that in there too. And then the way that I've learned it, it's described as the glass of champagne, which I think is great because you're going to hook them with the champagne. Once you give them that free glass of champagne, they get hooked in. They think your party's pretty great. And then later on, you can serve them the chocolate and the strawberries, which is what you actually want to offer them, with your content and your photos and everything that you're pouring into your Instagram account every day. So that just gives you an idea of how to kind of revamp the material, the conversation that you're trying to have on your Instagram account to focus more on the people you're trying to reach, okay? So with that freebie that you're going to give out as your glass of champagne, that's what your URL is going to offer somebody. So what does a freebie look like? There's lots of options. There's tons of options, endless options that you can do to offer value to people absolutely free so that they see that you are here to serve them first and foremost, build a relationship with them, and just let them see whether or not you are somebody they'd want to do any sort of business with down the road. We have to start there with that relationship. So types of things you can put together for your freebie, for your URL. You can do an ebook, you can do a recipe book or offer some sort of free recipes. You can do, exercise tips or, show them a free workout. You can give them a newsletter of some sort, have them sign up for a newsletter that you'll send them. You can offer a free class, a resource, a podcast, an interview. You can give them a free call with you to set up, talk about their fitness goals. You can do some sort of free training for them. You can offer, I've seen a lot of coaches doing the coach enrollment form as their URL. I currently have the free group link to my upcoming free group, which I think is a really great way, easy for most of us, because that's something we're talking about a lot in here is how valuable those free groups are. And if we are running them every single month, why not offer that for free on our Instagram, get people also connected with us over on Facebook, and we can start to create that dialogue with them over there. So, and then, there's really so many things. You can also do like a UK promo. You can get them into a free group where you're talking about who knows what. I've seen that as well. Now that's a little bit more limited, so I may not recommend starting with that. I have seen that done, but I think as you're starting to try to promote something of value to everybody, not everybody, to everybody in your specific, directed market, your audience, the UK promo might just be a little too limited right now. But you can also do anything in exchange for an email address, right? And just get connected with them. Find a way to continue offering value to them, really, really great value that's going to make them say, yes, she's someone I'd want to work with for free, and then be able to continue those conversations from there. So I'm going to give you a couple examples of people who I think I don't actually love the entire bios on these. I think if I were the one rewriting them after learning what I've learned about this, I would tweak some things. But these two examples are really great with sending people to a link that offers really great value. So Amy Silverman is one of them. She gives a link for people to go check out her she offers daily live videos, and it sends them over to her Facebook page where she does a ton of live video. Obviously, she must do one every day because that's what she's promoting. If you type in Alexa Jean Fitness, I believe it's all one word, Alexa, Alexa, Jean, Jean, Fitness. She gives you an ab and butt challenge and a pregnancy fit guide. And she links that to a link in her URL that sends you straight over to those really awesome freebies that she offers. So you can see that this is not just people showing up, posting a picture of their sweaty selfie, taking a picture with their Shakeology, posting about who they are. They're a coach, they're a 5-star, they're an Emerald coach, they're whatever. This isn't about us. This is about what of value can we offer to the people who might come across our page so that we can connect with them, help them in some way, and then show them how we can also help them in other ways with our groups or the coaching opportunity. Okay? So here's what I want you guys to do today. I want you to work on your username and your profile name. So if those are currently the same thing, I want you to think about how you want to promote yourself. Do you want to promote under a team name? Do you want to promote under your personal name? Which will you use as your profile on the, your profile versus your username? How do you want to do that? Just decide what those are and create those, recreate those. And then work on your bio and your URL. So figure out what it is that you want to offer for free. Maybe it's a link to a free group right now. That's probably going to be the easiest thing than, rather than coming up and creating a whole new ebook. Or, another easy one would be to create, if you are somebody who likes to get on video calls with people or on the phone, you could offer that free call option to talk about goals, offer some suggestions. It's your personality, your business. You get to decide whatever it is you want to offer. But work on that today. I want you guys to work on your bio, figuring out what it is that you want to say that can draw people in so that they choose number one, to be compelled to, that they're compelled to come over to your page in the first place and, take a look, because that bio is going to be the very first thing that they see. So if they don't think that they connect at all with you from what you say in the bio, they're not even going to take a look at your pictures or any of your content. So we want to work on the bio and then what it is that we're going to offer. So you guys don't have to be perfect with this. So don't hesitate making changes on your bio until you can figure out exactly what it is that you need to say. My goal for you guys today, the goal that I want you to have, is that you make some sort of progress today with your Instagram account. This is just like our fitness journey. It's not a destination, it's the progress, right? And you don't need to be perfect. It's progress over perfection. You really, as long as you are making slight improvements with this all the time as we continue to learn more, the key is that you guys are implementing this and getting a little bit better every day. You're not going to transform your Instagram account and explode your business over there overnight. It's really going to be these small changes that you work on over time as we continue to learn and grow over there. So I want you guys to promise me that you're going to take this and you're going to take some action today, because I've got lots more Instagram trainings and Instagram, topics and strategies to share with you guys. And, learning this material enough to take it and then turn around and teach it to you guys takes a lot of time and energy on my part. I'm just being honest. It really does, because I am fairly new to Instagram. And so for me to take what I'm learning and implement it myself, look at all these different examples, turn around and teach it to you guys, it takes a lot of time. And I do this because I really, really, truly want all of you guys to have success on Instagram and to be able to help, have this transform your business and help you reach those goals that you have. So just promise me that, I'm going to continue pouring into you guys with everything that I learn about this so that you can also learn it. So just promise me that you're going to take what you learned today and hop into your Instagram account and implement some of these things so that you can really start to see growth over there on that platform. So I think I'm going to wrap that up for today. Do you guys have any questions? Awesome, Lisa. Thank you. I'm glad you found that helpful. And, feel free to, what I would actually love to do is if you guys wanted to snapshot your previous bios and then show us your newly created bios so that we can start to see some examples of what these look like and how we are all together moving in the right direction. Could I send you a link to my new bio when I'm done to get feedback? Yes, Lisa. So that would be super awesome. And if you actually want to share these on the page, that would be really cool, because then we can all gather ideas from each other and really get some good feedback and tips, and we can all work on this together. That would be awesome. Any other questions? Thank you, Beth. Okay. So if you do, thank you, Martha. Yes, you can go back and rewatch. Perfect, Lisa. That sounds great that she'll share it later today on the page. I am also going to download this video and upload it into our Self Love Dynasty YouTube page. So you can find that recording there as well. If it ever, if it finds its way down in the Facebook group, you can always head over to YouTube, and all of these videos that we do, these trainings that Andrea and I have been putting up, you'll be able to find these over on YouTube. Okay. Any other questions? Feel free to comment later. Let me know, reach out. I'm here to help and excited to see you guys all make some leaps and bounds on your Instagram accounts. Talk to you soon.